Hello and welcome to this BB Education cutting tutorial. In today's tutorial, we're going to be taking you through an undercut. So let's start with looking at our mapping process. So what we've done here is we have a C-curve section running from the recession of the hairline to just above the occipital bone. This will run straight across horizontally to the other side and doing the same, working from a C-curve. Then on the crown, we isolate with the horizontal section our crown zone into the front and the apex zone. So now we are ready to begin our undercut. You see we have our sections placed. We are ready to start. We're going to start this haircut at the side with a diagonal back section. Here you'll see we're taking section 2. Now, we've discussed our shape going from top to bottom. Now let's discuss the shape going side to side. Here we want our shape to be round horizontally. What will this give us? That's right, it'll give us an equal shape working side to side. The length won't increase or decrease. But to do this, you need to ensure, here we have section 2 meeting section 3 in the middle of both sections. So let me repeat that. You take section 2, you overdirect it, you overdirect section 3 to meet it. So they meet effectively in the middle. So here you can see my fingers are creating a vertical square line or a flat line, whereas the top we followed the head shape. What we want here is our shape going side to side is going to be round, but our shape going from top to bottom is actually going to be square. It's going to follow the head shape for a short amount of time, but then go square. We're going to take the back section, working parallel to the corner of our C-curve section. This will be the final section for this side. So now we are able to start the other side in the same way. We take our diagonal back section, working parallel to the hairline, but how do we make sure both these sides are the same length? We're now going to share a tip with you as to what we do to ensure we get our balance. We start by measuring the top of the section against our comb. We let our thumb hold onto the position to mark the length of this section, as shown here. Then we're going to take the other side in exactly the same position, and we are simply going to cut this section. So we're measuring them, but we need to also get the bottom of the section, because remember our shape is going to be longer at the bottom than it is at the top. So to make sure we measure the bottom two, we follow straight over to the other side and do exactly the same thing again. We'll take our section in the same fashion and we will pull it up against the comb to where our thumb is marking the length, and we simply cut to that length. This now gives us a guideline at the top of the section and a guideline at the bottom of the section. So it simply remains for us now to elevate the section in the same fashion and simply connect both together. So you see, all that remains once we have established our guides is to just connect them in. It's so easy, and it's a great way to work on the salon floor and ensure you get the right balance. And also to teach somebody, it's a great way, a great thing to share to help everybody get their balance correct. Now you'll see we're taking section 1 and section 2. Now where are they going to meet? If you've been watching the tutorial, you should know. They're going to meet in the middle of each section. Let me ask another question. Why are they meeting in this position? What effect will we get? That's right. They're going to get a round horizontal shape. This means our shape going side to side will effectively be equal and not increase in length or decrease in length working side to side. So as we reach the corner, we've effectively finished both our sides. And what's great is we have our balance. We have our balance in a really simple way. But how do we now connect them in? Well, the first thing we're going to do is to start at the top, taking a horizontal section, pulling the head straight out, but not cutting it flat. Remember, we're working round. So we have to take smaller sections and we have to follow the head shape. And what you can see here, which is great, straight away we are connecting into the other side without any hassle or problem. This effectively now is a guideline. So we now have a guideline at the top of the hair and we have a guideline at the back. So here you'll see I have a guideline coming from me into the section and I have the guideline at the top. So we can only really texturize once the hair is dry, and we can really get a feel for the areas that are lacking in definition or the areas that have too much weight. So as you can see, utilizing our perimeter point cutting really does help to collapse this shape. As you can see, essentially all we do is as we cut through the hair, we put in shorter pieces. This essentially accentuates and defines the longer pieces. Now, we're going to take down the top section, we're going to groom it down and create a vertical profile section. This is going to be where we're going to start our undercut section. Why vertical? A vertical section will lend itself more to removing weight. But although the section will help, it is really our kinetics or mechanics that really do give us the weight removal. Now remember the shape we cut underneath. We worked vertically square into vertically round. We're going to do something very similar now. We're going to elevate the section, utilize the length at the bottom, which is overlapping our undercut, and we're going to work vertically square up. So remember, here we're not picking a guide out of the air. We are establishing a visual reference to what we've done underneath. One of the things I want you to maintain here is to always remove the previous section. So here I'm removing section 1, keeping section 2, and gaining a new section. We're going to number that section 3. Now, I'm always only working with 2 sections at once. This means my guideline should always be obvious. As I over direct back onto the previous section, it becomes very clear where my guide is. So we're going to repeat this with each and every section we take on both sides. As we complete this side, we're free to re-establish section 1, and we can continue and complete the other side. This is what I love about this shape. It falls very shattered, and it really collapses itself and blends in so seamlessly to the undercut. Even though the lengths are totally out of contrast, they don't match at all. There's a huge disparity between the length on top and the length on bottom. They blend. Now we're going to work from the parting. We're going to establish that our model here is actually wearing a side parting. So we're going to work diagonal forward from the crown straight to our parting. We're then going to go back to our last section we took, which will be, let's say, section 5, and we're going to establish this as our section 1. The section 1 means this is our guideline. This is what we're going to use to cut from the back to the front. So as we take section 2, we over direct to section 1. This is basically the same pattern we've used at the back. It's to get a slow increase of length, not a rapid one. So at this point, although the shape looks great, we have not cut our length yet. And we'll stress that when the hair's dry, we will place our length. Okay, so now we've completed both sides. All we need to do is go back, we need to elevate the section up and just remove the tip from the corner. If we don't do this, we're going to get a slight weight line. So you'll see here, I'm working more round to the head shape. I'm working with my same over direction pattern I was before, removing the previous, only working with 2 sections, and I'm going to do this on both sides. This is, again, just to reiterate, this is so we don't get a weight line. You can see, because it's on a side parting, my section is higher on the head this time. But again, if we didn't do this, the corner would just form a step in the haircut. There's far too much hair to dry cut that through, so I'm going to remove part of the hair initially, still keeping some of the guide from the other side to ensure I know where I'm working. I'm now going to point cut out the perimeter to start removing excess lengths, and then I'm going to go through using a slicing technique to help collapse the shape and remove any excess bulk. This completes today's tutorial. We really hope you've enjoyed it. We really hope this is something you're going to use on the salon floor, and we hope to see you again soon. Thanks again.